Yes, Ronin is the main project. We also decided to see it as a main project when we started, because it's maybe the project that shows in the most direct way our aesthetic and our community feeling. But I have also a band that does the same music, purely acoustic in long music rituals. I'm composing for other ensembles that are interested in our music, and I'm also playing alone solo.
Yeah. How would you describe your aesthetic?
Well, I think the music is influenced and inspired by classical, modern composed music, also by popular music, pop, funk, groove music, but also by improvised music like jazz. So we are moving in a triangle of improvisation, composition and interpretation, and sometimes when you're listening from outside or also watching, then you're not sure what is composed, what is agreed, what is trained, what is improvised. And that's actually the thing I was always interested, because I'm coming with a jazz background but studied classical music. But in the classical compositions, the freedom of interpretation is on a very subtle level, so it's in a way small. And in jazz, it's often very open. And I was looking for something in between, where you respect the composition very much, but are also able to modularly work on a live concert, that you can create things in the moment. And that's what created our modular music style. That is also influenced by a lot of music that works with patterns, like minimal music and classical music, but also traditional modern classical music like Bartók or Stravinsky or Ligeti, but also from ritual music from all over the world, like spiritual music, drumming music, African music, or Japanese ritual music.
Yeah. The association with ritual music is very easy to hear, even for a non-professional listener, because of the repetition element which is there. Would you say that there is something ritualistic in the music on purpose, or is that a result of how the music is played?
No, I think it has to do with the way how you want to seduce the listener or the dancer, you can also say. When you choose ritualistic strategies, then you have also a certain result that allows you to get into the music very sensual, although there is a clear concept with clear rules, because a community cannot organize itself without rules. Even in most of the African traditional ritual music styles, there is a clear hierarchy and structure, although it's very ecstatic. And that's, for me, very interesting. And also, on the other hand, for example, Stravinsky said that you get a lot of freedom when you choose clear rules. So through intelligent restriction, you get a lot of freedom. And I think that has to do with the ritualistic setup for a community, that a ritual music can work in a way and seduce the people to let go, but in certain rules. It's not just chaotic or free, but it has a certain purpose. And that's, for me, interesting, and also has a lot to do with composed music in general and also classical music. So that's something that is very important and is a clear goal also. And as far as I know, is also the term ritual music not something common, so it's not a musicology term, but I try to occupy it in a way to describe certain strategies of music that you also find in classical music, for example, like the Sacre du Printemps by Stravinsky, or in a minimalistic piece by Steve Reich, for example, a piano phase that is totally non-religious music, but it's ritual music in a way, cultural ritual music. And you find this structure also in Zen music, for example, meditation music, but also in African pattern music and all over the world. And I'm interested in these strategies from a viewpoint of art and culture, not from an esoteric point of view.
All right, so there's not a specific, let's say, religious sort of meaning. It is about the music itself.
Exactly. I mean, for me, religion is a term that has more to do with the structure and organization of a community and rules in it in terms of belief, and that's not what I'm interested in. I'm interested in a kind of a cosmic setup for music, that resonance and community create a certain way of being together. And that's when you have art, and especially with music, when you do something together, and the performance also with the audience is always a being together and doing something together in a room. You create vibes, and I try to create a mix. Also, we as a band live try to create an interesting, seductive mix between common code and not known code for the people, so that you can seduce people to really get into the music, create a certain flow, but also create an intellectual, sensual challenge for the people to open their awareness. And that's something that is in a way the goal also for me as a player, that I go out of the concert with more energy and more openness and awareness for the resonance and the things around me than when I came in. So the point of our performance is not to just create some climaxes and then you're in a way empty and satisfied, but that you're going out on a different point than when you came in, with a higher energy and an openness and awareness, but totally non-ideological, but very sensual.
So probably, I imagine, playing live is more attractive or more important than recording in a studio.
Well, it's a different strategy, it's a different way of expressing yourself. I like recording also in the studio, and we record usually also in a way live, so we don't do overdubs or something. We are coming into a studio with a high knowledge and consciousness for the pieces, and then something else has to happen in the studio together with the producer, that we create something that was not there before. But in the studio you can of course work with the sound engineer and with the producer a lot on the sound and on a new way how you organize the music in the room, and on a new dramaturgy for an album. So that's very important. But the band is in a way direct, wild, live, and also soft and subtle when you hear it live. You know, that's a way how Ronin lives as an organism. So the live playing is very important, and we also play a lot live. We play every week in my own club in Zurich called Exile, where we play already since 9 years every Monday during the whole year, when we are not on tour, of course. And this helps to really develop this organism, the band organism, this community, and create a natural high level of quality of interaction and resonance also with the audience. So this playing in a traditional sense of a working band is for me very important, because I believe in the group and the community and the communication that is developed over a long time.
Yeah. Are the audience also part of the community? I mean, are the same people coming back over and over again every Monday?
Yes, there is a core of people that is interested, and of course it changes over time, but there are several circles, so like a circle that is coming very regularly, also with supporters and stuff like this, because we have no support, official support, but we try to develop it as a model of our own, also economically. And then there are circles from people that regularly are coming, and almost every Monday some new people are coming, and also internationally people are traveling through Zurich to see a show. And there is also an international community that grows very slowly but very substantial, and I think this is also a thing that is generally interesting when you develop something over a long period. It's not so much this avant-garde thinking that every season you have to change something, but you change it very slowly, like a spiral. You go always forward to the roots in a way.
Your club is in Zurich. All of the members of the band are from Switzerland. It's interesting because Shah, for instance, has its own records as well, or CDs. And there's more, I think, music which is which seems to be related to your music and Ronin's music, coming from Switzerland. Is that something specific for Switzerland, or is that just a coincidence?
No, it's always a very challenging question. What does the music have to do with your background and your community, and especially your country and this national identification? I think it has to do a lot with our way, our community, how we receive, think about music, and how we listen to music. But I think the model of Ronin finally, created a certain interest because it works, because long-term investment and going together through certain good but also difficult phases shows that this creates interesting quality and a certain resonance. And young artists see that this is possible. For me, it was always important to not complain, but to create something on your own and say, okay, when I don't like this fact, then I change it and try to create something positive and show a model how you can change things. To get practical, for example, not to leave your hometown and say, okay, here nothing is happening, I go to New York, London or Berlin. But create something there that creates this resonance and gives also young people the chance to check it out and join on this quality level. Although, of course, you have to go away. But I went to Japan to not go to one of these main centers of jazz, but to go to a different culture that I was very interested in. Also to train other things than music, like martial arts or meditation. But also to study a culture that I was attracted to in a way, and also to see what's interesting, what's difficult, what is the challenge there. But then finally come back home and create something with your community and show also that this is possible. And because, to be honest, the Swiss music scene in our field is or was not very attractive, or was not a label internationally to show a certain tradition where people already thought, okay, Switzerland or Zurich is a good label for music. But we also thought we better change it ourselves and instead of complaining. So that's maybe also why young people are interested, and also because our music shows that you can train high skills and being a very good musician, but then use these skills very modest in the sense of a band and for creating and serving the composition. So that's maybe also something interesting for young artists that look for new solutions.